Namaskaram, Namaskara, Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskar. My name is Paula Shendu. I'm representing a company named Red Hat, the first company in the world who realized and introduced 13 different Indic language support, Unicode-based support in 2008-2009. Some of the dignitaries I can clearly remember we have worked with, obviously NICE was one of them. And there was a huge support from the Indian open source community. And I'm proud to say this state was one of the leaders contributing this Indic language conversion in this Unicode-based world. So for an open source evangelist, I must say, if there is heaven anywhere in the universe, here it is, here it is, here it is. Thank you very much, Kerala, for an overwhelming support towards open source world. Today, what we are going to talk about digital empowerment of citizen. So, is it too intense? Is it okay? To talk about that, the first thing I was realizing yesterday when I was sitting in the airport lounge and I was sitting a family of 5 members and Sir, Mr. Sri Shiva Kumar was talking about that, the behavior, the experience. I was watching a 5-member family was doing 5 different things, though sitting together. The oldest person of this family was talking on the phone, and he was very scared about the delay in the flight, and he was trying to ensure somebody should come and pick the family at the right time because the flight is getting delayed. A girl who may be at her teenage was reading something intensely on her Kindle. Another 2 person who is in the middle age, most likely the father of that kid, was watching very seriously something which was displaying on the television of that lounge. And exactly during that time, the boy, maybe your elder brother of that girl, was going and interfering that middle-aged person. This is the breaking news. And this middle-aged person was literally irritated, and he said, every time you knows better than me or better than everybody, where it is reflected, where it is published. And during exactly that time, that particular breaking news has come. Some breaking news was scrolling in yesterday, every day something was going there. Yesterday some incident was there going on, everybody was watching on the television, I believe. So surprisingly, that particular breaking news was coming on the screen. And then father got surprised. How did you predict? That boy, maybe in his early 20s, shown him the mobile. Because he was scanning through the news, normally he scanned through, and it was popping up. So the behavior is changing. And do you think, many of us may say, it's very urban. It's very urban, yes. But people who are traveling across the country, you have a better experience than me. When I travel across Karnataka, I see people are ready to take payment using some mobile wallet. UPI, Bhima, Paytm, there are multiple such applications. People are using it. So, in the last few years of our independence, we have achieved something. It is not the history of, losing something. It's the history of achieving something in the last few years. And we should be proud about that. And we are not far away from this world experience, what is going on. We are, I believe, with them. And what we are seeing people are transacting one to many, one to one, one to set of group without any hesitations, no hold. People are talking. And the same experience they are expecting and getting during their different service. Maybe sometimes it's a banking service, maybe sometimes it's a even the government service. So the experience, the behavior is changing. And this experience, this behavior is driving the change Mr. Shiva Kumar was talking about. Sir, you have just talked about. So there is significant changes what we are going through, and this is not disconnected. This is absolutely a continuity of this history to something we are going to do in the future. So what we are seeing, we are expecting changes, we are expecting something to happen now. To do that, we need to do something, some innovation has to happen. But while we are working on that, while we are working or intending to work on that innovations, we are seeing our 70% of the resource, be it money, be it budget, be it people, everything is blocked to run the show, to keep the light on. That is something we are experiencing every day. You guys are better judge than me, because that is something we are seeing. The application what is presently running, maybe a PDS applications, maybe like a civil supply applications or a e-district application, you have to continue this, because there are millions and millions of people are actually coming and taking the services. You cannot change it overnight. So the innovation has to happen. At the same time, we have to continue the show. Show must go on. So that's the challenge we are seeing. 70% of the resource blocked, still we need to go for the innovation. So to do that, Sir was talking about, once again borrowing his word, it's the connection between our now, new and next. Lot of things we need to really talk about. I can give you an example. In my early days of my IT journey, I used to see people who used to buy something on eBay. They're very think themselves they have done something new. From the eBay age to we are seeing this Amazon and Flipkarts and etc. We are booking our cabs on the mobile. So if you see, there are fundamentally the communication, the moment you were doing something on eBay, they were not talking to you. It was a one-way communication. You were buying something, you were seeing multiple things and selecting something. But on the contrary, today when you are doing e-tailing, you are actually communicating. If you are selecting a book written by some author, maybe 5 different books are being proposed to you, that do you really like these books, these subjects? So etc. So we are actually seeing they are trying to relate, they are communicating. And how they are communicating, how they are talking to you, depending on your preference, must be something going on in the back. This same application is running on the mobile. Sir was talking about everything has to be on mobile, because the way most likely the penetration of mobility is largest in the world. So we need to encash, to reach out, to give the services to the common people. We need to think about that. So there are many such things. There are cloud, there are containerizations, there are integrations, there are analysis, big data. I don't want to go there. It is not a really technology session. We are talking about how and what, right? So basically what we are actually seeing, it is beyond technology. This transformation is happening, and this transformation is happening beyond technology. It is impacting everyday's life. So once again, I am borrowing that concept, the 3-pillar concept. This 3-pillar is actually, if I take a step back and how it is happening, if I look at that, it is 3 different pillars. One pillar is talking about which is ready for the next gen infrastructure. This next gen infrastructure is not just having a few servers or a storage or something. It has to be ready for your next gen applications. It has to be ready for your security. Sir was talking about, it has to be secured. It has to be connected in spite of having secured. It has to be very mobile. It has to be very well integrated. So like I am picking a particular, let's say, component from Amazon, right? Every time I'm seeing there are 5 or 6 or 3 different offers are coming up. How it is happening? Is it Amazon who is having these 5 things in their store and they are giving you this particular prices, 5 different price point? Answer is no. What they are doing, they are going back and connecting to 5 different seller. How they are doing it? This is called agile integration. They are doing it through API. And we are talking about API economy, right? So each agile process, agile integration has to be there if we really want to talk about the next gen architecture. And finally, and most importantly, the collaboration. I want to give you an example. Everybody is talking about very fancy collaborative environment in the corporate sector. I want to give you an example of a collaboration. That collaboration has happened in the government space, and being an employee of a company, I am personally benefited. I am talking about Employee Provident Fund. When I first time, I don't know, I'm not seeing sir here. When I first time I met him, he was a government officer who is having fair understanding of the government process. He was super duper, excited and thoughtful about the money he is handling. It is Provident Fund, Bhavishya Nidhi. He was talking about that. And the applications, when actually, maybe you people are having a Provident Fund, different Provident Fund maintained by your department or something, but people who are from the private organizations who are having their Provident Fund with the Employee Provident Fund of India, when I changed my first job, it was a nightmare of tracking my Provident from one organization to another. People who are from the private organization must have remembered that. But today, the Provident Fund, whatever you are actually every day, every month, what company is contributing, you can see it on your mobile. And how it has happened? It's not by the technology giant like a Red Hat or somebody has gone and changed that. Because we do not have the domain knowledge. Believe me, we do not have. The domain knowledge is there with you, the person who is handling this so critical for an individual person's future. And when I was interacting, my friend was here. When I was interacting, he was so scared. He said, I have to be secure first, whatever I'm going to do. So the entire application got revamped. The entire applications got modernized. Today we are seeing like we are usually expected from a savings bank account statement. It is so simple. That is how we are seeing it. I can talk on and on about Aadhaar. These are all touching our life. It's changing India. When I am actually traveling across the country, I'm going to South Asian countries, they want to understand, and they're coming and meeting what is happening, how we are doing this transformation like Aadhaar, which is actually not only changing, it is changing permanently towards something which is unheard of. We have heard about American citizen number or security number. Is it like that? Is it that easy? We are talking about millions of people, billions of people here. US cannot even compare the kind of data this particular department is handling. There was no reference architecture before it going to happen. So there are multiple such things. We can talk about this tax reformation, what happened, what digital India has experienced in the last few years. It is fabulous, and I can tell you it is unprecedented. I am there in this industry for the last 23, 24 years. In Red Hat, I am working for 12 or 13 years. I have not seen such a mammoth transformation, what we are seeing. So, when we are doing this transformation, once again, sir was talking about, are we talking to our citizen? Are we making them ready? Are they ready to consume? I can tell you, if I go to my father is not comfortable with his smartphone. Every now and then he fumbled. So that means it needs an education to get familiar with the new technology. And how we are doing that? We are working with multiple state departments, central governance, and making them aware about open source technology, how it is evolving, how it is changing the world. There are multiple such things we are doing. Task is one such example. In South, there are few other things we have been engaged with them. In northern part of the country, we have been engaged with multiple state governments. So we are not only helping the government to go for this particular changes, adopt those changes. We are also working with them to really, come up with the skills they are really talking about, because it cannot happen just by creating an application, making the platform ready. There has to be consumer, the consumption has to happen. So how the consumption has happened, how this, the change can happen, it's obviously we need to work. The work has to happen along with the department or the people who are working on that particular platform. Because this change, the way you are making that change, today the change has to happen differently, because we are talking about new cloud infrastructure, where the people who are developing, maybe on parallelly something is getting deployed. The people who are checking this quality assurance of that particular product, another set of people maybe started consuming that API. So the continuous integration and continuous development, normally whatever we are talking about, it's a different era of collaboration. When you are collaborating on this particular, let's say you're developing a small piece of application, you are working on a particular application where 5 different people or 50 different people are working. You are controlling that environment. So at the same time, you are letting people work on that particular platform. So this is what, it's a different environment. It's an open source way of doing things, we call it. So we call it, it's a lab. We create that lab. We created that lab with NSE in a particular setup, and then we invited them to start working on that particular platform. They worked with our engineer for 3 months or little more than 3 months, and they have come up with first prototype. This is how they need to do to make this thing cloud ready. And it was their job, not our job. We should not claim a 0.1% of that. Only thing, we are enabler. We have not done that changes. So there is a nice video. Amita will showcase that during our another discussion we have. We all invite you to participate there, and we will showcase that how this new age application is being done in-house. It's an age of insourcing. It's not the age of outsourcing. That is what we are seeing. The EPFO is a golden example of that. Okay, so I will come back to the last part of my presentation. Next gen architecture, that is how we can go there. That is what we are talking about. How we can go there? It's not the technology, believe me, though I am a technocrat. It is the culture. It is the culture where the citizen can come and say, I can form. The farming is in this part of the country dependent on X, Y, Z. Can you create an application, a mobile app, through which I can say, I can see, I can know that these are the fertilizer is to be used. These are the XYZ components is to be used to get an optimum results. It's a collaboration. That is the culture we need to build. This culture is a mandatory thing if you are really talking about to develop a cloud native applications. 54% of the application, whatever is getting built is multi-cloud application. That is what we expect, or we hope. And we are seeing multiple states have already adopted cloud first policy, right? We have seen that. But the question we want to put in front of you, when you are selecting that, are you selecting agnostically? That means, is your application going to run on any cloud? Or once again you are getting locked into a cage offered by a particular cloud provider? Red Hat, once again, will, as an open source leader, we will once again plead for the same thing. Please don't get locked yourself. Think about how to develop application on a multi-cloud, language environment. Because if you look at, once again, Amazon themselves, they are not locked on a particular language. There are millions of people who are developing applications. Same applications may be being developed on based on multiple technologies. Somebody is doing on Python, somebody may be doing on Java, somebody may be doing on .NET Core. So the collaboration has to happen, and that has to happen in primarily 5 different areas. One, we need to really build an IT optimized next gen infrastructure. Second, we really need to work on integrations which can integrate your today's applications tomorrow's applications, cloud native applications, and both together should be able to host your now applications. The application is going to happen tomorrow and future. So that has to bridge the gap, that has to actually hold the hands between past, present, and future. And obviously, we are talking about a hybrid infrastructure. The world is never going to happen a full public cloud. It will be a combination of few physical servers, few virtual servers, multiple operating systems. And so it will be obviously a hybrid environment. Red Hat cannot claim it would be a Red Hat. Everywhere it would be red, red, red. It is never going to happen. It would be a hybrid. It would be a multi-technology based applications, which is going to change the world. Obviously, when we are doing that, we need to we need to build some applications which is cloud native. Even if we are not running this application on a public cloud, the applications, if you really need to give your employees or your citizens or a close group of people access, and this access has to happen from anywhere, anytime, it has to be a cloud native application as per the architecture, right? We can explain how it is happening. Obviously, I have only 4 minutes left. I will just finish on that. Once again, I'm taking this Amazon example. The application used to develop like an eBay. It used to develop like a robust, scalable, big, resilience application. But there, maybe a small, I'm from Calcutta, so maybe this, a Mercedes got stuck in a Rafi Ahmed Kidwai road. I can't move right, I can't move left or right. I got stuck. So that is an application. Maybe if you build like that, you will get stuck in that kind of a road. We need to develop application which will be small pieces of application will come together and give you a larger picture. So the small application which we call in technology language is microservices. I'm making it little simpler, which may not be that simple. I know some of you are really knowledgeable. So this microservice, how are they connected? They are connected using APIs. They are using APIs, right? That is how they are connected. And how they are automated using some orchestration layer. And how it is getting managed, whether the patch, whether the updates or upgrades, it has to be managed through a different technology. So if we are doing these few things, 5 things correct, we are ready to go for the next generation. The good news is it's a journey. Transformation cannot happen in a day. It is a process. And we are here as your partner who are proud about Indian diversity, here to help you. Let us know if there is anything we will be spending more time during network time. If you have any question now, we can answer. I have still 2.5 minutes left. If you have any question, we can answer. Otherwise, we can take the question later during the network times. Any question? I think I really explained very well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time.